So, you know, one of the little things that I was thinking about, one of the things that came to mind as we were talking about, like, we want to be free.
Uh-huh.
Was we say blood a lot, right? We're
Yeah, we
from the
do.
Bay Area. So, we're from the Bay Area, and it's like saying cousin,
Like, blood, what's
kinfolk,
up, blood?
or dude. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like we don't have no rags.
We need to start off by letting all of these viewers know who we are.
Right. That part,
So,
right.
so I guess I'm gonna take the lead on it.
Go ahead.
So I am Briannah, also known as Pretty B Baby on Instagram, and I am known for health, fitness, holistic wellness, and fashion, of course, and just being me. Everybody know. You never know what's gonna come out of my mouth sometimes.
I am LaShonda, the LoveBug. I am into holistic health and wellness, okay? Farming and agriculture. I'll say get to know me. If anything, I'm gonna say I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm really learning how to invest in myself and the generations, to come.
I think we can get into the vibe of the day. So on each episode, we're going to be having a vibe of the day. What is our vibe of today? And Sean, I'm going to leave you to that one because I went first on the intro.
Right.
What's your vibe of the day?
My vibe of the day today is the sunset. I'm catching that little sun filter just a little bit. It's just about over, right? Little sun and a little saffron. Okay, I got some saffron tea here, and it is infused with just straight hemp oil. That's it. Keep me chill and vibrant at the same time.
I'm loving that vibe.
Yes.
To my vibe of the day because one of my vibes of the day is a song. And I'm gonna play my vibe of the day song. This
Okay.
is I
What
love
we doing?
artist. Here we go.
Zen the fuck out. Zen the fuck out. Zen the fuck out. Laid across the couch. I'm zen the fuck out. Hold up.
That's the shit right there. That is a whole vibe.
That had me on the vibe today on my way to the stuff.
That's the whole vibe right there. Yes. I love when he be like,
I can't invite you random hoes to my house because your energy is too whack.
say, leave that where you at. And while you leaving it where you at, leave yourself there too, because we gonna pass.
Right. So that's one of my vibes of the day. My other vibe of today is going to be I have turmeric ginger tea
That's what's
that is infused
okay.
with a tincture. THC. Strawberry flavored CannaLean.
Oh, it looks like it's working.
It's working. It's gluten free, and it is vegan. So it's really good.
Perfect. It's nothing like a good tincture. Nothing like a good tincture, right?
It really is. It really is nothing like a good tincture. So
that's what's up. Ah, we catching vibes. Right. That's what's up. This is my choice of brown for the day.
Oh, let's jump into this first subject episode.
Yes.
Relationships and shit.
Right. Relationships and shit. Yeah. Huge topic. We gotta talk about this, right? So I think it's kind of important to cite the video, right? I do not know the artist's name or who she was exactly. Maybe we could share a link or something.
Oh yes, because that's
what kind of was like. What prompted this conversation? We have crazy conversations all the time.
Yes.
But you know, there was this video basically, and to generalize it or summarize it, the female in the video is basically going in on having understanding of yourself and who you are before entering into a relationships, and just having your sole focus be on a man. And you, what are you really bringing to the table? She covered a variety of things, but it was a really,
she did. She went in, you guys, but you got to listen to the whole video and really have some understanding. You know, you can learn
it was a dope share. And I was happy to hear someone with a perspective that we constantly conversate about all the time. Like, to hear somebody else go in on that was just like, yes, say it.
Yeah, say we gotta be honest with ourselves, you know, and a lot of people don't like to be honest with themselves. We've all been there.
All have been there, right? I know some of my earlier relationships, I acted a fool. I acted up, but it was a norm. It was a normalized fool, something that I thought was okay, right? I understand I thought it was okay, but I didn't feel too embarrassed about the behavior then. Whereas looking back on it now, I'm like, ooh, I was acting up.
That was not okay. Yeah. We know. Shonda knows me, so we know I have my fair share of acting up. You know?
Acting up.
And when we say acting up, we mean like the way we carry ourselves, the way we defended ourselves, or what we thought was defending ourselves in relationships, and just like that. So, you know, it's a different approach. Now we're grown women. We have a
different approach, right? And like we don't talk enough about those things growing up. You know, like you don't, well, we just don't. I don't think there's enough conversation based around you know, self-love and loving yourself and all of these things that should be in place before you start to engage in, you know, someone else, or start to try and love something else other than yourself. We don't have these conversations. And
the only good thing I will say is now you're starting to see that now in culture. Yeah. Whereas before us coming, you didn't see that. That was not your norm.
No. No, and I'm an 80s baby, 90s teen. So you know, it just we weren't really talking about too many things to prepare yourself to begin the date. I think, as for me, there was more concern for the sex aspect of it and possibly getting pregnant or maybe contracting a disease. Like that conversation was had like easy across the board.
That conversation was had. My mother had me at a young age, and so it was like, hey.
Mine as well.
That can't be coming on, you know, going on in here. So.
Yeah, you're not bringing no babies to my house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was it.
So that's it. But the psychological aspect of it has never really been discussed. But I don't know. Like, do you want to get into some of the things you experienced early on, or like kind of what your perspective?
I think one big thing is, and we've spoke about this before, putting your hands on a man.
That part. Yeah.
It is not okay.
No. Like, I'm not going to even laugh at that shit.
So, man, it ain't okay to put your hands on women, but women, it's not okay to put your hands on a man either.
Right.
It's not okay. It can, you know, end up in a bad situation, and abuse go both ways. You know, it's not just because a man hit a woman, it's abuse. When a woman hits a man, that's abuse too, and that's not okay.
Yeah. And I had this concept that I must have just pulled from thin air. I don't know. I had this concept that, you know, we could hit them. We can beat up on them as much as we want to, but they bet not hit us back. You know, like I can remember that thought process. And I was a hitter. Like, I'm so embarrassed to say that. Like, damn
I
it.
was a hitter at, you know, I was a hitter at a point.
Like,
And
just
it's
because
not
I'm
okay.
overwhelmed with my emotions and I can't handle like insecurities, misunderstandings, or whatever it is, I'm just overwhelmed with emotion, and my response is to smack. And that is some crazy shit.
It truly is because, you know, I'm a fighter. A hitter fighter. So it ain't just the smack for me. You know, it wasn't just a smack for me. And
Like,
so that, you know,
oh,
if I wasn't, you know, dealing with someone that, you know, and that could have easily turned into me, wow, you know, just wait, what are you doing?
yeah. Shout out to them, those young guys. They ain't young no more, but those younger guys who are in that position now, today, even who have the self control to deal with the erratic emotions of the girls that they may be dating. Because people do a lot more crazier. I'm not gonna say it's a lot more crazier. It's just as toxic, right?
Yeah.
Like people do were like breaking car windows, bleaching clothes, don't left eye him, set some shit on fire. But there's like some extreme behaviors in girlfriends, and I think amongst us, we would kind of normalize it. Like, I don't know if you ever had somebody that was just like go with them on this ride so they could bust these
Oh,
windows out. We finna
right.
get
And
Jasmine
then,
so
all
bad
right,
about
then
it.
I was down. Like, hey,
Like, oh, he got us. He got us fucked
yeah,
up.
and that is not, you know, where I'm at now and being mature now, just on the journey now. It was like, girl, you was out here playing Russian roulette a whole bunch of times, you know, and yeah, I didn't do because we didn't know. I didn't like, girl, what? But older now, we like, look, sis. But if you really want to know, but it's like, yeah, we, you know, we talk about it more, just at a different.
Yeah.
I think we at a different space now because I have been the, you know, you've seen it yourself. So, you know,
Hey, yeah, we had some issues.
what was bad about it is because who, especially if that's really not your character, and you being
Yes.
pulled out of your character, and then you got the nerves. Younger me had the nerves to be mad.
Yes.
I'm all out my character. You got me all out my character. But no, I had me all out my character. It's a choice.
Yes.
It's a choice.
Yeah. Like, you obviously can't handle this relationship, boo.
Yeah.
Like, you can't
Yeah.
handle yourself
Yeah.
and your
Very
emotions in
immature.
this. It's too much for you. Got you fucked up. Go sit somewhere, but no, that's not how it went.
Yeah, it wasn't how it went at all. You know, just a whole bunch of emotions, and now I understand it. The concept of not making decisions based off emotions.
Yes, and those emotions overpowering you, right? Because they're so new. They're like,
You might feel like setting some shit on fire at 2 and at 3. Hell, at 2:15, be like, you know what? I'm all right. You know, you gotta process it through. Then you might feel like setting it on fire again, but you gotta give it time. You know, take your time because you can really make a decision that's going to snowball effect or can change in some instances I've seen change your life.
Yes.
Just making a decision off emotion.
Yeah. And that's crazy. And it's like in those moments, none of that matters, right? Like at all.
It don't. It be like, I'm Superwoman at night. I don't give two shits about what's going on.
Yeah. Like, isn't that something though? Like, because I was trying to figure out where the mentality came from. Like, how did we get to such a stubborn space of understanding? And I say we because it wasn't just like your small group of friends or anything. Like, we know that. Like, it's a song. Jasmine Sullivan is literally singing "I Bust the Windows Out Your Car." You get into Beyonce with Lemonade with the yellow dress. What is she doing? She is walking down the street with that bat going to go fuck some shit up. Because you got me fucked up. Like, that is the culture. There's something.
It's the culture. And I think also like like we said, just not making those decisions. But also on the flip side of that, men protect.
Yes.
Protect. That's when it comes back to protect a woman. You don't just protect her physically.
Yeah.
Protect the feelings. And if you're not, ready for that,
then don't be opening up her heart and playing with her emotions. Doesn't make the behaviors okay, but that's what it is. It's like,
and some people are growing, men and women are growing at the same time, and so you just don't know, like, ooh, I want her, but I don't want her. But I want to do, and
right.
you gotta grow up, and it also because it comes in both ways. Like women, she's not emotional for no reason, She's not.
Right. She didn't just decide to be crazy today.
She didn't decide to be crazy, and you know what I see too? A lot of men misleading women.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You have the women doing it too, and then, oh, he crazy. Well,
you just set him up.
But this is why,
he was just playing with his emotions.
Playing with I think it just goes both ways. Don't play with one's emotions. You can't play with a person.
Right. Okay, so
you're dealing with all these mental things. You're dealing with somebody that has not possibly taken that journey to understand self and how to make a conscious decision, not on emotion. You might have people dealing with ego. You got all these factors that play, and then it can be a disaster.
Yeah.
It can be a disaster.
It's a disaster, right? It is. Like, I just think it really has a lot to do with too much all at once and us like doing stuff too early, right? Because I feel that Western mentality makes you feel like, 30, 40, these ages are old. So you're trying to do stuff earlier or get into like, I'm 16, I should be dating. And I think that there should be a level of dating, but it shouldn't be so intense, especially if you don't have a sense of
mentality. I gotta, and it creates a space where then now you don't know how to be alone.
Yeah. And that's crazy. You don't know how to be alone. You don't know how to feel your time. And you listen, without saying any names,
we don't name drop on this show, you guys. We don't name drop.
I thought about one of my early relationships. We were kids getting, okay, right? Early relationship, just say that. And I would call him at work. He would answer the call. He would text me, hey, what you do? It was normalized between us, but I reflected on it. It wasn't like calling somebody at work or whatever every now and then is cool, right? And we were young, and it was just kind of like normalized between us. But I thought about the fact that, reflecting and looking back at it, like, damn, a nigga can't even go to work without you needing a hey, baby.
Knowing the type of space we like for ourselves now, and like, yeah.
And here I am still trying to get some smooch time on the phone while it's a cute thing in so many ways, but I think if it were, say it again.
I said it can turn unhealthy very quickly.
It can turn unhealthy very quickly. So I don't know. And I think that I was being overcompensated emotionally. So when it came to something that would make me upset, I didn't really know how to handle it. Like, no, what do you mean no? I'm laughing and I'm being jokey about it, but that's pretty much like kind of most of the drama that I was like kind of causing in a relationship. Like, I realized that like you really were being overcompensated emotionally, and then every time something didn't match up to that, you want to have a whole ass fit. So
I mean, I can say so much. But yeah, I have been overcompensated in relationships as well. With and then also, I mean,
cheated on and hurt, and then wanted to fight.
yeah, yeah, that's how you want to fight real quick. And it's like, and then also being hurt, you have a choice. You have a choice of how you're going to deal with that hurt. And the younger me, dealing with hurt, it was not pretty. I in a previous relationship, I would put my hands on a person, and that's not okay. And I remember telling my mom, like, he's stupid. And she's like, well, if he's stupid, would that make you? Because you would. And I'm all like, what?
You have to be on my side right now. Right.
Like mad. But it's just like, I had to really sit back and think about that. Like, it's like the person you're with is a reflection. It's a reflection. And then you very young, trying to be in a situation that person probably not ready for, and they don't even know they're not ready for, and then you're getting your feelings hurt. And then at that age, you don't know how to deal with, well, I didn't. Let me not speak for the world and say, to me, that equaled, like, it's all bad,
Yeah.
It's all bad. Where I felt like I'm not even this person. I'm not this person. This is not me. Why am I letting this
upset your whole day? Like, an upset in the relationship could really just fuck off your whole day. Like, we were talking about that, like, at work, going into the bathroom. I can't.
Yes, and being mad and like, oh
my God, it's over.
Yeah,
laughing, but those
it's very
times where
it's just like, how unhealthy is that for someone else to give anyone that amount of power to upset your entire day? There's 24 hours in a day.
24 hours
in a day. And when I say this, I'm not saying don't feel, but that's not, because I had this question asked to me recently. How do you switch your energy so quick? Because I was frustrated and I switched it very quick. And that took a skill. That took a skill. It's like, for one, there's 24 hours in a day. So I'm going to let that I don't dwell in it. I don't let that dictate my entire day. I'm going to deal with what I'm feeling. But I'm gonna move forward. And then when you realize you move forward, it's not sweeping nothing under the rug. And because you still want to address your feelings, but if you give it time versus you responding like, motherfucker, whoop, 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 you might come with a real approach where it can be worked out and it can be discussed and talked about.
Give you a chance to respond instead of react. Like, go ahead and process those emotions. I think the biggest part of it.
No, I'm saying I ain't perfect. I still, I work with it. I'm still work in progress, but it is bad.
I think the problem with that, right, is because in adolescence, right, we identify ourselves with our parents and or our caretakers, and they're usually the foundation of our emotions, right? So, when we step out into a relationship, we haven't yet to build a self-love foundation, a platform, whatever it is. So it's like, we'll get into these loving relationships that, they be loving and stuff at certain loving relationships. And we start to base our foundation on that. So then when we get emotionally upset, at that age, you can't focus on anything. You like going into work, you can't focus on work. You can't take care of yourself properly. You really don't want to have no conversations. You got an attitude with everybody else because your emotional foundation is rooted improperly. Like, that's Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just, it hurts you to to the core when it's not supposed to be your core.
No, it's not. And it can, it like, I've been so upset before where I physically hurt. And I'm like,
Yes.
that is not okay. You know, that's not okay. And I don't like to feel like that. You know, I don't, you know, so
and
it's all about stuff to me. It's all about stuff. That's when it brings it back to self-love. And it's just like, hold on. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. You're going through some work on yourself. Don't worry about getting revenge. Don't worry about, you know, what the next person doing. Always, if you always work on yourself, no matter what you go through, you gonna glow, keep glowing and going and going and going, you know. And that's what I learned. I loved when I was able to turn that into that type of energy. Like, oh, I'm about to run. Oh, I'm about to go work out. Oh, I'm about to go work on it. You know, like, so.
And having that foundation actually helps you to process the emotions so you can deal with the situation in a healthy manner, and you have reflected, and you're just not out there putting all your emotions as they come to you on the on the pedestal.
It's just like, you don't want to be just out things, you know, and saying things and just doing things. And it's a whole bunch that comes along with making decisions, any decision on emotion straight off the bat, and not processing those emotions. But yeah, it's just making, you know, healthier decisions. And it's hard, you know, because you got to constantly, people ask me all the time, you know, how do you stay positive, or how did you, you know, not react to that? Oh, trust me, I have the thoughts. That's like, don't get this twisted on this journey. We have thoughts all the time. It's just redirecting them and not acting on them all. And sometimes I might act on something and I have to go back and be like, oh, girl, don't do that next time. You know,
I'm
like,
sorry. No.
Relapse. But
yeah, really taking an internal look, internal inventory. Why does this feel this way to me? Why does this, you know, to make sure that you're not bringing other chaos into a situation that it doesn't belong. Because sometimes you get upset and it triggers those inner childhood problems. So that's why it's important to be in tune and in key with self, because you can get way more upset at something for other reasons, and you don't know, but you're so caught in your emotions that, you know. So yeah, being tuned into self. We really, if you could do it knowing what you know now.
Okay.
At what age would you have started to date?
Knowing what I know now, oh goodness. Like dating, like knowing what I know.
Like getting to know dudes. Like, you know, like actual dating, like I'm spending time with you, I'm calling you.
Okay, like being in relationships, like
smooching, and
you know, knowing what I know now, it probably, I don't know, you know, because chemistry is funny, right? So, but I would say, it might have been a little later.
Yeah,
later, because you know, the whole going to date, you know, you know, date, that's one thing. But when you're kind of wanting someone to pour all of them into you, and your cup ain't full, and you don't even realize it ain't full, because you can't
figure this out.
You can't be, you know, have your cup half full and his cup or her cup, however, the other person's cup's half full, and then when you're pouring, you done poured everything out. And I heard someone talk about this too, and this was a good concept. You pouring everything out, and then it feels so, ooh, I'm pouring all into you, but now you empty.
Yeah,
and then when
it's actually a biblical concept. You know?
Now you're just playing. Now you're playing back and forth, because your cup is supposed to overflow, so that you can
get from your overflow
of understanding and be aware of self, to make those better decisions or to have a, you know, understanding. So it would have been later for me because just knowing it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot that we expect. And, you know, like but you want to be able to give and receive that same respect. But, you know, the growing pains is what make you who you are. But it would have, I would have took a more self journey first. And I feel like that came a little bit later.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely.
I think you should learn self, you know, first. It's cool to have fun and all of that stuff, but learning self. And then, you know, you won't waste energy on certain things, you know, like, because then, like, I have a better sense of energy and what energy I'm willing to interact with and not. So,
yeah. You know what? I'm actually like, I'm over here like this right now, like, because I'm replaying, you know, past relationships, be it even those ones that weren't really a relationship, but you had that neighborhood guy. Like, I had a neighborhood boyfriend in the fourth and fifth grade. But all we would do was like, we would have dinner at each other's houses. We would play outside and we would dance. Like, our parents always would, we were like the dancers in the neighborhood. So we would like dance in the living room, you know, put on the MC Hammer and go for it. I guess, anywho, I'm going through that reflection because I'm thankful to some early relationships. Though they did kind of put me in a position to have like these expectations that were probably unrealistic, or they didn't do it. This is just how I responded to it. You know, there was love there. And I'm appreciative of that. I'm hella appreciative of that. Although, like,
you know what? That did teach me a lot. The young, having a neighborhood boyfriend and learning like, oh, this is how you know, but
yeah. I remember my first little cheat
teenage, that first adulthood stuff that you be like, I could have waited for a minute.
I gotta let me finish it. I remember my first little cheek kiss and my barrette got in the way, and it was like I will always remember that. The barrette pressed into. I was like, oh.
Not the barrette.
It was a barrette, but a barrette. that's fifth, sixth grade. I still had a barrette, right?
Because it is fun. You learn because then also young, you learned balancing. Balancing with your friendships, your kinship.
Yeah, you do.
Have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whoever, but it's like the balance.
It's a balance. I probably, like, just knowing what I know now and look back, I would have thought that, and this is probably gonna sound funny to a lot of people, I think that I probably wouldn't have actually started to date until about early 20s.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, we talked about that whole pouring from an empty cup, because I had only learned to fill my cup with the love and affection of, that's my boyfriend and my friends. Yeah. You know, we had fun. I was filling my cup inappropriately. I didn't quite have the concept of foundation and shit like that down. You know, I had ideas of what I thought a good girlfriend was, but, you know, I don't know. I think I probably would have waited until early 20s to really start to date.
Yeah. And I say, like, you know, I don't completely regret the past, but it is that given what I know now, you know, given the journey a little bit now,
what I know now,
it would have been probably best, not just only for myself, but for the other person, because I'm not coming all the way, you know. But I have this expectation of what I want, what I need, and what you need to give me now. You know.
And I expect to get it now. I can't even believe I'm saying that, because given that perception, right? And then
It's
at some point
selfish.
it shifted and I was giving more than I should be
To someone else that we weren't even
what's
giving
the
to
right
ourselves. That you're not giving to your own self.
that I'm not giving to myself, and it's not even time for that level of giving in the relationship. There's
Right.
levels to things, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the misconception is real. And it's
It is.
I wish, hey, listen, we was in some of the same conversations that was being had around us growing up. And I wish that there would have been more of a focus
Once
on self and not just the I call
the
it the
whole boyfriend, girlfriend, oh, that's cute.
how
Because you
you dress.
the older, yeah, yeah.
No, that
Or,
not just yeah, not just that portion of it. No, you
yeah.
know. So
Because
yeah,
that's just a child's mind, a kid mind, and you
do an
have
adult thing.
capacity
Mhm.
that young, and then now that's what you're consumed with. Like, I gotta
Yeah,
grow up just to get a husband, just to get a boyfriend, just to get a wife, just to get however. And
yeah.
then that's not even like, it's
Because then
so
they always because that is often the question too is you got a boyfriend? Are you dating yet? Or you like it really is an expectation
yeah.
to have some other significant other or you got to meet my boyfriend or whatever. There's like an expectation of that before people really expect for you to be like all within learning yourself
How
period.
about you meet me? Because you ain't met me yet. Because I ain't met you all the way.
Yeah, how about you
You
date
know,
yourself
like,
first?
let
That's
me
what
bring
you
self to the situation first.
date yourself. Like dating yourself is so I didn't do that until shit my 30s, right? Like that is where I started to date myself on a certain aspect, but still just not quite what it was supposed to be to maybe later down the line, but dating yourself. How do you feel about your own company and your own energy? What are you interested in? I can have a real good time with myself. I am fucking hilarious. you know?
That even in a relationship, dating yourself,
Yes.
still learning how to spend time with self, and still
And
learning,
what you actually
yeah,
like and not just,
yeah,
yeah.
figure out what you like. And then also I had someone tell me this, and I read this in a book.
Mm-hmm.
You want someone to treat you a certain way, you're waiting on them. If you want flowers, send yourself flowers. That's the law of attraction for one. Let's just get on that.
Get
You send
into that,
yourself
right?
flowers, you gonna start receiving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do for yourself. You want to go see a movie, take yourself to that movie.
Yeah.
You want to go do these certain things. It's okay to take yourself, because then that welcomes, that energy of, and then you know what you like.
You know what you
You
like.
can give it to yourself, and that other person like, oh, wait a minute,
Like,
ooh.
wait, I see that's her favorite
Because no,
flavor.
first of all,
Mm-hmm.
I think this goes for any gender, male or female.
Okay.
Nobody wants someone that cannot be content alone.
Yeah.
I don't, no one
Mm-mm.
wants to be under someone 24/7, or, like, so you have to have some level of being content and
With
spending time with
yourself. Yeah.
and working.
Codependent relationships don't work on any aspect. And that is how my early relationships were built. And I think it's just because that's the concept that we had as kids, like being older and talking to exes. I remember one of my exes, and because I was just like, thank you, you were a real gentleman, or blah blah blah, right? And he said, I just always told myself that when I got a girlfriend, this is how I wanted to treat my girlfriend. Well, his thought process was unrealistic too. So like I said, this is the relationship where I'm being overcompensated emotionally, like, and I'm just running rampant with this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Like, this is how everyone's supposed to do.
This is how it goes, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like a codependent relationship. So it's like you really do have to learn to be. I don't like using the word independent because I just feel like it's got such a negative connotation, but you have to learn to be self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient. Yes.
Self-sufficient first before you go like you know, even just giving your time
Yeah.
to somebody else, because then you really gonna start to look at other things. A lot of stuff be sex based, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you do. You
yeah,
have to really be self-sufficient. And like I said, that's even if you're in or out of a relationship. If you're single or in a relationship, you still have to know self.
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
self is guiding you, baby.
Hmm.
Self is guiding you. And it's
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you. Um, so
No.
that's what I feel like.
Yeah, you have to learn to listen and tap into intuition. Otherwise, you're doing all this stuff early, and like, especially if you're in a toxic relationship and the guy is like lying to you and telling you crazy, you tripping, he's unaligning your intuition, and that is
Yeah.
your guide for life. When anybody that you're dealing with should be helping or strengthening your
Yeah.
intuition, helping you attach more to
And
that.
it's very common. You're crazy. And then you think like, well shit, am I crazy? Like, no, I'm
Because
not
that's the response, man. You crazy, you tripping. Like
and
I
I
can think
think
of so
for
many
fellas,
stories.
stop throwing that out. You crazy. That's not right to play with someone
Yeah,
mental.
yeah.
Especially if you know they not crazy. If you
Yeah.
know they not crazy and you know
And
you're
this is
wrong, you know,
yeah, yeah,
it's just a lot. And
right.
that's also with men not knowing self either. Like we're speaking on women,
Exactly.
also men jump into things and not know. So we can't really speak for men because we don't have a guy guest today, but
Yeah.
we don't have a guy guest, you guys. But just
Mhm.
not knowing yourself either, and then
Yeah, you
jumping
don't know
in
yourself.
and got an expectation for her, and it's like, that's unrealistic. Like,
Yeah.
so
And we're not taught to have patience with each other either, too. So there's a lot of that. So we'll stay in long-term toxic relationships for different reasons, but we're also not taught to have patience with each other. So, like, because
yeah,
there's this period of transition when you are learning to break away from your parents, caretakers, or whatever who you've been dependent upon, and there's supposed to be a phase in between that break into self, you know, self-sustaining, learning self and things like that. But we just hop right into it, and there's no. We're trying to grow up and realize too much while trying to have a union, and that is not the proper structure of relationship. And then let's say you haven't worked through self and things like that. So you're in a relationship, you're in a commitment to continue to love and sharpen each other to make each other better. You should be. Usually that's what marriages are about. And now you're bringing all this extra stuff to the relationship because you haven't taken time to get to know self and go through these things. I think a lot of relationships end prematurely and go bad just for that reason alone. It's because you haven't had enough time with self. And
not know how to work with like you said, not have enough time for self and learning to work through these different things. Nothing is perfect. Things
yeah,
happen and nothing is perfect. So it's learning to just and living on an expectation of other people for your
that,
own relationship.
yeah, yeah,
Like for those that are in a relationship, looking at all these other relationships, and it's cool. It's like, oh, they're cool in these relationship goals, but you don't know what's going on beyond closed doors. You don't know what they do together. You don't know what's intimate with them
yeah.
together. And then you have other people.
Or what it takes to have that level of intimacy, right?
Yeah,
You have no idea what it takes.
no
So
idea what it even takes to be there, or even if do you want that what they even have behind closed doors, and you living up and putting this energy out there for that, and then also living up to the expectation of other people, what other people think happiness looks like for you, or what it should be or shouldn't be. I think people feel so entitled,
mm-hmm.
entitled to someone else's life, not just a relationship, but just to other people's life. As people, we walk around, we feel so entitled. And it's like being on the journey that I've been on now, I am not entitled to say what happens in someone else's life, no matter their decision. I'm not entitled. I'm not even entitled to my own. That's to the Most High. Like, so I feel like people feel very entitled.
Yeah. Order, just all out of order. I believe I truly believe in divine order with everything. And we're just out of order. We just doing stuff all out of whack and all willy-nilly just because, we think we grown and we want to be doing the most. So yeah. Okay, so one of my questions for you, right, is
I love her questions, you guys.
what what do you think? I was trying to figure out how to word it. Like, that's why my mind was just like all over. You have to edit that out, right? What do you think you learned? Because it's like, what do you think you learned in a toxic relationship? Like, did it almost forces you to start to have those tools for self?
Yes, and I think when we say toxic relationship, I think almost every relationship has a level of toxicity that you have to grow through. So some things can be grown through, and some things you just gotta throw it away.
Yeah, like, no, that's but when I say toxic, like, I just mean behavior.
No, I know exactly.
Like behaviors that
but toxic situations that have happened, it has because your question was what it taught me, right? Like, what have I learned? Like, so I learned to really look at self. So, like, even in a situation where I'm not wrong, I'm looking at myself. Like, all right, what are we about to do? Like, how are we gonna work through this? It caused me to really go into meditations, really just sit with my feelings instead of reacting. I'm a reactor very quickly. She's laughing, y'all, because I react very quick, and just learning, like, wait, let me sit with that. I'm gonna have a different I can be able to say that differently. And it also helps you see the whole picture, because also what I did learn, for one, I learned how to date self more. I learned how to depend on self more. I learned how to always want to better myself in situations. So instead of me feeling like I'm gonna go burn something down or Jasmine Sullivan knock out the windows, let me go hit these squats. Let me go do something for myself. And when I say that too, because it was also, I had a level of toxicity myself. When things would happen, any type of situation, I was a shopper. Oh, don't make me mad, because I'm about to go toxically shop and buy things. And
and money. Just throw the finances off.
And I learned it really did teach me to, and then I also noticed when I started reverting to self, like, no matter what happened, I'm just glowing up. I'm glowing up and I'm getting better. And because if I use that energy to work on myself and make myself better, I'm a better person. I'm physically, mentally better. Like, it helps me to kind of maneuver through goals and things like that. So that toxic, that's what it did teach me. And it gave me game. Okay. It give you a level of game, like, and when you in this much peace and have that much game, it's like, like, it's the whole level. That's what it did for me, though. I learned how to just kind of reflect, keep going back to self. And a person loves to see you work on self. Like, other people love that, like, dang, she working on self, and being a motivation to other people, like, oh, she didn't let that knock her down. She didn't, she
Yeah.
didn't let it take her where it could have took her. So
Right. Right. I see her fight. So what would you tell the self that, had less healthier habits? Or no, what would you tell that self, that person that's in the height of their emotions, they're flipping out, they like, this motherfucker got me fucked up. Oh wait, because we didn't even talk about,
that's a lot.
listen, we who the
What's up?
fuck do you think you are? That's your shit, right? Because wait, we didn't even get into some of the other things that people can do in seeking love and don't have a sense of self, right? Because we know people that have been stalkers and really going through unhealthy measures to get attention, right? But what would you tell that person that's like boiling in their emotions? It's just, that the feeling that you had that brought out the toxic behaviors, right? For me, that brought me to smacking or whatever the heck else, shopping, drinking, or, what would you tell that person that's in the height of those like right now, they didn't, they're in the height of some emotions that's just got them besides them fucking selves.
I'll be like, check this out. It's not worth it. What energy are you going to receive from you acting like that? How are you going to feel? Do you feel better when you hooping and hollering and yelling and all upset and crying? Or do you feel better when you feeling better? I would say, go work out. Go treat yourself. So take time with yourself. Go pray. It feel like the end of the world in that moment. It's not the end of the world. It's not and you are beautiful. Like, you are beautiful. You have to really see your beauty and see yourself and go love yourself. Go meditate, sis. Smoke a blunt. If you smoke a blunt. Get you a tincture, get you an edible, and go meditate and chill and sit with your emotions, because you feel like that way right now. And this is me. This is me. I ain't nobody motherfucking sucker. Like, because you feel like also feeling at peace. We
ego.
We confuse ego, sis. Ego is no. We confuse this with we confuse going and being at peace, and we confuse reacting with being bold, being tough, being I gotta react. No, I ain't gotta react.
Yeah.
That's bold. I ain't gotta react. I ain't even gotta respond. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
and reacting to feeling like somebody got you looking stupid.
Yeah,
like that drives up
embarrassment. Who loves to feel that, that you have to, because when you do that and you humble yourself, you learn another level of humility. That is priceless. That the lessons you will learn if you just step back and be cool, or even if you go off, but just come back and be like, you know what? Always bring yourself to center. Bring yourself back. Take some deep breaths.
Yeah.
And really
go to your chill spot, your chill place first.
If you gotta turn off, if you do what you gotta do for your peace.
Yeah.
Peace, my mama told me, peace is priceless.
Right.
Peace is priceless.
Yeah.
And it truly is. There, you cannot put a price on peace. You disturbing somebody else's peace don't bring you peace. You disturbing somebody else's peace don't bring you peace. And playing the tit for tat and the just games. It's games. It's like once you get to a certain level and you get older, it's like what you're doing now is going to take you nowhere. Like, you can save yourself the headache. I'm telling you, from somebody that been through things like that. And it's like you feel just, that's what being player really is when you get a hold of self and you like
yeah,
because you know your worth. You also, it helps you to learn your worth.
Helps you learn your worth. I think it's important not to place your peace in something outside of yourself. what you consider to be peaceful, you know what I mean? Like that should come within and always be there. You should always be able to revert back to whatever is your peace. If you find yourself getting out of it, coming out of character or whatever, that always be able to revert back to what that is.
Yeah.
And if you know, a lot of and sometimes you haven't developed that yet, because a lot of the times your relationship is your first heartache or hardship or things like that.
What
So
you think is peace because it's blissful, or it might be
blissful at first. Yeah.
It can be confusing lust with love and all these different factors.
Yeah.
Because that is it runs a thin line. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can confuse all these different things, and now you don't even know how to grab peace, sis.
Yeah.
You don't even know. You can't even.
Nerves is bad.
Calm yourself down. Your nerves is bad. You can't calm yourself down. I would never want to ever again be in a situation where I don't have control of myself and I feel like I can't calm me down. I can't go and calm me.
Right.
Like I there where I gotta, and then when your best friend don't call, or your cousin at work, or your sister here, and you don't feel like you can talk to this person, who do you have? You should always be able to come back to self and be like, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me sit with myself. Let me handle me. Yeah, I never want to be in that space ever again. So that once I've learned that, and then when you learn that, it's a whole nother level, because for one, you learn something you don't like, oh, I could do that. I could switch that up like that. Oh shit.
Right.
That's like fun. It's a whole nother level. So then it's like once you get a piece of that, you be like, fuck that. Like,
yeah, my piece is not up for grabs.
It's not up for grabs. And it's just like also knowing like I control what I have going on. Like I can, and it's not to say you're not human and you don't get mad or you don't get upset. It's just about not dwelling in it, not sitting in it.
Not letting it consume you. It is a emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion is to be processed, right? You know, just don't let it consume you. And
at your level, say that's somebody you really do want to be with, and y'all going through all these different things. It's vice versa, male or female. When you up yourself, the other person has to up themselves, because also you operating at a frequency, sis. You operate at a frequency, and if you in that type of frequency, you way down here. You're way down here. And so that means everything that you are receiving, you are attracting. You might not be asking for that situation to happen directly, but if you operate at a low frequency, then everything else that when people say, well, why does this keep happening? Being responsible for your energy.
Being responsible for the energy you bring. Yeah. And
when you work on self, the people around you either have to start working on self to keep up with your frequency, or they got to go.
Yeah.
And you don't worry about whether they leave or they stay. You just got to keep working on self, period.
Yeah.
Because you got to know that no matter what, you all right, you're going to be rising up.
This is what you require for your life. And whatever don't match that vibration, you got to be okay with letting it go. Stop trying to hold on to stuff that does not fit, you know, your vibration, your life, that's disrupting your peace and stuff. Because I know a lot of people will stay in a relationship just because they don't want to lose. Like, you know, they going, you know, basically like, I really don't want to be with him. He ain't shit, but I'm not going to let her have him. Like, there's so many thought processes.
I've seen that before. I don't, you know, well, if I can't have her or I can't have him, then nobody else can. And that is very sad. It's like, if you really want to stick in something and work something out genuinely, because that's what you want to do, and you prayed on it or however you did it, and you know, did this, then do that. But don't hold up your life for one. And somebody else's, it's going to be a miserable life.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out, where do you think we got these behaviors from and normalize it? Like, where is it coming from?
I think it comes from a multitude of things, from like what's on TV, the videos, the shows. And now it's a lot more than when we were growing up. So it's like, and seeing older, just this, I think it just started from a long time ago, because you have seen it repeatedly over history, but it's just get modernized as the times get modern.
Yeah.
But like I said, what I do love seeing now is, even with all that going on, you have so much more self-love awareness and these different things that are coming to fruition. They're coming to play.
Yeah, we're having those conversations more. We're having those conversations more. I didn't grow up in a household where meditation was like, a normal thing or conversation, like, or any. I don't think that there were too many stress coping mechanisms discussed outside of prayer and get into church. Like, I don't think that is a real discussion on how to manage self
outside. That is true. Coming up, and I think we this generation, this time, not just this generation, but this time and day now, we're learning too that there's so many other ways to connect. And yes, you should pray. You should, if that's what you feel your need is for you to do.
But there's a lot of continuous work.
But there's also continuous work on self, because when you work on self, that's what brings you closer as well. If you don't have the balance of doing both,
yes,
you have to work on self, knowing self.
Yeah.
Knowing self.
Yeah. So part of having your own peace and part of tapping into yourself and really looking at self, even if you are in this relationship early, is self-observation. So you want to watch your thoughts, your habits. These are the things that determine your frequency and your vibration. Outside of your physical body, your thoughts is one of the main things. And then there is, I think, where you discern yourself. That's where you're learning yourself and things like that. And so you want to watch and guard those thoughts. And start to intercept them with more positive thoughts that feed you, so that you're starting to feed yourself, so that it's not just that compliment in the relationship. It's not just that time that you're spending in a relationship, or things that's giving you that positive feedback and those endorphins that make you feel good.
Yeah. You want to get, you want to feed your mind other things outside of that. And then, like you said, you want to, you have to learn self. You have to learn self. That's what ups your frequency. Everyone is wanting to get to higher self. Well, that's how you get to higher self, is learning self and know self. And it just makes your relationships better. It makes your
it makes everything better. It makes everything better. Like you can intercept those negative thoughts or behaviors that you've noticed with yourself, with counteracted with positive thoughts and affirmations, right? Affirmations that you can feed yourself.
No, seriously.
To help you work through those vibrations that just don't serve you. Those thoughts that just no longer serve you and are not helpful to a beneficial, peaceful.
You have to intercept your thoughts, because remember I was saying earlier, someone asked me, how quick did you, you really have to intercept them. When I mean, if you're like, I'm about to go set his goddamn house on fire, you got to intercept that with, sis, let's go take us a hot bath and let's say a little prayer. And let's, if you like to have a glass of wine, smoke a blunt, whatever, please read a book, something that is going to
set something on fire. You better light this sage up, this Palo Santo, something, and calm your ass down.
Say a little prayer. Like the sage, set on fire. You have to really redirect. It's a constant thing. And sometimes you got to do it out loud. Like, I thought this, and get into the root of your feelings. We were just in
into the root of it.
We were just in a webinar, in the like a webinar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and getting to the root of like why, even if you got to write it out, why do I feel this way? And when you really get to the point of it, yes, the person might have did something wrong, but the way it's affecting you is rooted either it could be from that or something else.
Yeah.
And getting to the root of it, and then now you got process. By the time you done process, you like, okay, like
I was tripping.
I was tripping, or this is how I'm gonna handle it, and you will find that your way of handling the situation is much mature than the way you originally was going to.
Yeah.
Because if you would have just burnt down the damn house.
Get yourself into respond instead of reacting. If you know your initial reaction is petty and not cool, then you need to get in front of that and start to process your thoughts a little bit better before you're just out here spewing out and reacting like we were talking about earlier in this.
I've done it, and it's just like that helps you work on ego, because ego makes you, it's definitely not the mirror you want to be looking at. It makes you think something else is something that is not. Oh, sis, you can't be no punk, you got to go over there. Yeah, you go over there, burn it down, the police come to your house, then what? You know, like, or something happens, or just period, it's just toxic. And then you put that energy out there, and what have you attracted to yourself now?
Right.
Burnt down shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you just attracted all this negative energy to yourself. And that's why it's like in all situations, even when you're done wrong, you have to think about how you gonna respond, because the moment you speak, the moment you think, the moment you believe, the moment you act on, you are manifesting.
Yeah.
You're manifesting. So what is it that you want to manifest?
Yeah, be conscious of how you're using your energy and your power. I think that's the thing too. When you're so young, you really don't even, you haven't captured and understood the power of manifestation and the power of those things. So you're just giving it away, and placing it in the wrong places. This is definitely a conversation that can be ongoing in many aspects, right? Like we can cover some.
Because I'm gonna touch something too. I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm gonna touch something.
No, go ahead.
That a lot of people don't want to touch. Sex.
Say it again.
Sex.
Oh yeah.
The acronym.
The power.
What is the acronym for sex? The acronym for sex is spiritual energy exchange. You are exchanging energy.
Yeah.
And all of the energy that person can.
Not just the energy, you feel it in the moment.
You exchanging all types of energy. And if somebody got multiple partners.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby. Sis, you don't like over there? You just got a little bit of her energy. Bro, you don't like over there? You just got a little bit of his. Like, you are exchanging all of this energy. And then, like, I had to break this down to someone, and I said, when you are having sex and you're in exchange of those energies, so I'm gonna use two analogies. I'm gonna use a guy and a girl, and a girl and a guy. So sis might be like, girl, he get on my goddamn nerves, and I gave him a little something, now he won't leave me alone. Well, why do you think he won't leave you alone? And then why do you think you keep dealing with him or dealing with the situation? Because you complained about him so goddamn much, but yet Friday night is lit. You know what I'm saying? And so
right back at it.
Why do you think there's a tie there? There's a tie there that you created, and you don't even like the fucking situation. You just doing something to be doing it, just to whatever it is, for whatever reason it is. And I don't care what no woman say. I don't care what no man say. You can be the biggest player, the biggest this, the biggest that. You are always exchanging energy when having sex. And you don't get to determine what energy is being exchanged, especially if you're not aware. If you're not aware.
You just willingly accepted their demons.
You willingly just accept it. And the analogy for men, because you'll hear men say, I can't stand her. I can't stand her. She get on my damn nerves. Like, she ain't even. I just like hitting that. Man, she hella ugly, or she woo, but you fucking her. You having sex, and then you wondering why you putting up with some shit, or you wondering why you in a situation that you can't. Oh, the pussy just good. No, you done created a tie.
Yeah.
And you just not aware. I think people really lack the information, or want to lack the information, because they rather have pleasure over really, like, sex can be done on so many different levels if you do it the correct way, and there is supposed to be great manifestation between two. Why do you think you can create life during sex?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you might be messing with somebody and you might think, oh, that's a little piece of ass. And then she's over there manifesting a baby.
Amongst other things.
Vice versa for a woman. You might be thinking, oh, that's a little, but you don't know what's going through that person's mind and feeling, and what they are manifesting when you are in that moment.
Or how about fucking on somebody that really don't respect you, right? Let's say y'all have really great sex though, but that he really don't respect you, and the type of energy that he fucking onto you, you start to see a shift in your self-esteem.
Yeah.
Why your self-esteem is becoming out of whack and unaligned, and it's because you fucking with what they call that, the I'll just say Debbie Downer for right now. We'll call him, the Denny Downer, whatever you want to call it. You fucking with it. Like, so,
once I learned all of that stuff, I'm like, it was so much, and it's just like, energy is so important.
And you want to cut off those energetic cords before moving on to another relationship as well. So knowing, understanding and owning your energy, understanding when you are creating cords and receiving and giving energy. That's hella important. And then knowing how to break and cut cords. First off, you should be cutting cords kind of regularly anyway with the spiritual attachments, because there's many forms of it, and it's definitely something that should be understood. And then sometimes you just haven't established a proper connection, right? You got a codependent attachment, and you need to revamp that relationship and restart. But I think that a lot of people don't even think about, like, let alone, going to get tested in between your partners. They don't even think about, let me energetically cleanse myself before I take this on over to, this person right here.
Like, got all these emotions, and a lot of times.
Yeah. And a lot of people is walking around carrying incubus, right? The sex demon, which is what's being exchanged, and you find yourself being even more lustful and can't concentrate. And I've seen people really come into contact hard time with incubus, and just can't stop fucking. I don't know, and has destructive relationships. So I don't know if we was
it destroys, and it is very destructive. And having sex is a responsibility. And I think that's another thing that helps aids in people acting a fool. And like, we see the men's, and it showed, I'm gonna get a little graphic. I see the men that showed, a woman, getting them off, and he's coming, and and then she wondering why you throwing her wig down the street. It's so forms of sex.
Talking about fellatio. Yes. That right. So the power.
But
listen, we gonna get organic with it. Is the power in that can go both ways, because you have a lot of women who seduce men with blowjobs, like how they say, sucking the soul out you. That term right there is not a joke.
It's not a joke, and men don't even understand it. And women don't. A lot of women don't either. But it's just like, it is not a joke. It's not a joke. Now you wondering why you doing shit you ain't got no business doing, or you wouldn't have thought to do, or why the fuck did I do that? And you done put yourself in a situation. And even then you can be carrying things years later. So that's why going back to cutting cords and really learning yourself and learning to cut those cords and cut off energies is very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah. Cleansing your mind, your body. Yeah, this is dopeness. That is important. These are habits that these are lifestyle habits that
It's a
you should,
lifestyle.
yeah, yeah. Understanding and respecting spirit and energy, right? Because that's really what it gets down into. Look, I don't know if we plan to cover so many such a extensive area, because we could keep going. It could get deep, even deeper with this aspect of relationships and shit. Right.
So much, and willing to just let things destroy too, because also people don't want to work through things or work out things either. And sometimes you're not supposed to. It's like some things for a season and some things are not. That's at the discretion of yourself and your partner. And just being in tune with self helps you easier to even be aware of that, in that energy.
I think it makes you a better lover, being in tune with self and not just being all over the place with your emotions. Like, I think that's when you start really getting to the good shit, right? And the good sex.
Good sex. Because now you have it's not just you're going into
all the way live. Yes.
Because now you get to go into sex with a understanding, and also like, I'm about to manifest some good shit tonight,
right.
And there, like I said, there's so many different levels of sex, and so no matter how you have, it's levels, so it's just
misuse of sex is a lot of what be making some females act up. Like, that's how you get to the back with the windows and stuff, because you misusing sex, and the mind is just all out of whack. So
all out of whack. Like, wait a minute, goddamn, what are you doing? You don't want to be like that. You want to going in sex knowing who you are and what you are, and that you are a queen, you are a goddess, and you can kind of help navigate this, and it's a real exchange, and
completely different. That's what's up.
It's a level.
That's what's up. That's what's up, Flu. That's what's up. So we want to get into our mantra, affirmation, something like that can be used when you're dealing with learning self and navigating through relationships. Or if you find that you are that codependent relationship haver, and you're using a lot of people have a lot of I'm lost for words right now, but a lot of people have the wrong type of intentions for relationships, or the wrong expectations.
And a lot of times you'll find the expectations are like unrealistic, because you have to know love language. And everybody's love language is different. And you might have this expectation, and it's not just about gimme. It's a give and take type of situation. A give and receive. I'm not gonna say take.
Right.
Give and receive situation. It's a constant exchange of energy.
Constant exchange, constant conversation, like, for real. And it can be such a lit situation if it's aligned properly, and both people are committed to working on themselves and each other. It can be like the dopest thing. And you know, we want beautiful alignments and relationships and things like that. Like that's what you want to attract, to maintain, you know. And
Yeah, that's what we want to, come here. We're women. We've been through things and we've learned a lot just navigating through and still learning. We are both not perfect.
Still learning.
Yeah, still learning, progress. But yeah, like we want to leave you guys with everyone with something to help you feel a little bit more aligned. And
Yeah. And just to speak to that spirit that exists in us just due to whatever it be, side effects of the culture, learned behaviors growing up, um, things like that. We have to start to speak against those unhealthy, toxic thought patterns and habits. So we've talked about, yeah, we we've talked about being aware of your thoughts. Uh, you know, we've talked about not putting your peace in something outside of yourself,
yeah.
and things like that. So yeah, what we bring in here? We bring in a tool. Like we're bringing a tool for what we gonna call them, organitics. No.
Wait,
I am
you say that?
What?
You said organo what?
Organitics, you know, like lunatics or a bit. It's so like organitics.
Yeah,
I don't know.
organitics.
You know, I'm good for
affirmation that we want to, leave you guys. Wait, am I going to say the affirmation or you want to say it?
Sure.
Okay,
say the affirmation, and then what are some of the, before you even say it, some of the things that you can do with affirmations is say it. You can write it on your mirror, you can print it out and post it, put it on your door in an area where you keep going in and out, so you like constantly taking in this positive positive response to your unhealthy habits and traits, right?
Yeah, and I want to add on to that, affirmations are super important. I have affirmations throughout my house, and energy, from having books to plants to signs that say love, bless, sayings around my house. So creating that environment within your home, and home could be a room, a closet, whatever it is yours. So create a space of energy around you, because while you're going through these emotions or different things like that, it is definitely important to have space, whether it's going to the park and sitting in the sun. You want to have where you lay, where you rest, where you wake up, where you go to sleep. You want to create space to have these affirmations and create an energy around yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in the bed meditating, you got a space where you meditate. You're sitting in the car and you're taking some time to re-energize yourself and just speak positivity to yourself, right? Sometimes you can get into the mirror and say the affirmation to yourself. It's just, speaking positivity and light to yourself. Right? Do we want to define affirmations? I think we kind of did there. We're like, well, what's an affirmation?
I'm gonna let you go.
And affirmation is a statement, right? So we can get into owning your words and being purposeful with your words or whatever, but affirmation is a statement. It could even, sometimes it can just be one word, but it should be a positive statement to how you are speaking to yourself, identifying yourself. What's some other ways with that? To affirm something, right? It's like speaking into existence and speaking over a higher positive energy over what previously existed. So this is an affirmation. It's like water to the spirit. One more time.
No, go say that last part again.
Affirmation is like water to the spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Uh-oh. Okay.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, that is part of redirecting your thoughts. You want to
Yeah.
fill that negative thought with a positive affirmation.
Right. Right.
Yes. So y'all ready for the affirmation? Tonight's affirmation we're going to be closing with, and so we're going to start calling these, what we're going to call them, our organic.
Hey, let's just toss it around. Like, don't
toss it around. Y'all tell us what y'all think we should call this. But I have tonight's affirmation. It is, I release my infant and juvenile understanding of love. I appreciate you, and however, I no longer need you. I open my entire being and understanding to the frequency of love, organic as fuck, ovary things. Hashtag over things. Because it's all about the ovaries, y'all. Yeah. So that is our organic as fuck talk.
Yes.
You want to add?
Yes. Hi. I think we said a lot. And nothing should be greater than your self-love. That's really what it boils down to. And you got to learn your own love language. I think there's like a book where there's like 4 different types, I believe, but that's not all that there is. And a lot of us speak multiple languages. So you got to learn yourself. And I think just perfecting your love language just makes you a totally better lover. And that's like what it's about. Like, forget this fake surface bullshit. Let's get deep. Let's stop busting windows and
go yourself, sis.
Yeah,
we gotta love on ourselves. It will bring a deeper understanding and it brings a quality to your life like no other.
Yeah, it does.
It brings a quality like no other.
Right? Yeah, confidence too. Once you put that love on yourself, you be like, "Oh, I'm kind of good at this shit. Like, let me." Nah.
Look, you be feeling good. You're walking past the mirror. Oh, sis, look at you, just loving. Yeah.
Yeah. Create love rituals. I don't care if it's how you bathe yourself and whatever it is, and that those things start to help develop inner peace. And those are some of the things that you return to, right? You talked about physical fitness. We talked about a lot of tools.
Yeah, so for me, it's the physical fitness. It's the physical fitness for me. It's just my plants, my books, my time alone. It's just so much. Like, I know how to love on me. I know if I had a hard day, what I need to do. Like, I know how to love on myself.
Yeah. So yeah.
And extra love is extra love.
Yeah.
You want someone should make you happy, they should make you happier.
Yeah. They should add to it and find new levels and new understandings. And it's just a beautiful love story is a beautiful love story. And we know that it is full of growth. You should be growing, so it's not gonna always be like all hearts and rainbows and stuff like that. But yeah, love on yourself and shit before you start relationships and shit. And then if you in a relationship, still continue to have or start to foster a sense of self-love. So yeah, girl.
I totally am. It's like self-love is the best love, and that Tiana Taylor said that in a song. Self-love is the best love. It's like it's the richest thing you can have.
Yeah. And being in a relationship with somebody who has self-love just hit a little different.
Oh, it hit a little different. Having enduring those relationships, because when someone sees you self-loving and they might not know where to start their journey, but they're watching you, your partner's watching you, and like, hey, I want to feel like that too, or how can I get there? And they might not move at your speed, but just watching someone else grow while you grow, it's kind of dope.
It's a dope dance. It's a dope dance and ongoing
you
conversation.
You should be inspiring each other. You shouldn't be competing.
No.
It should always be an inspiration. How can one make the other better? Not how can one tear one down or hurt another's feelings. It's how can one
The tit for tat, the hurt stuff going back. You don't want that. We don't need that. And we got shit to do, right? We creators out here, so
But when
yeah.
you have your problems, talk them out. See if you can work through it. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. It just is what it is. But
Right. Dopeness. All right.
well, you guys, we left y'all with a affirmation. We gave y'all the vibe of the day. And on our next episode, that will be something traditional. I'm gonna call it our tradition, our new tradition. Yeah, vibe of the day is
vibe of the day.
An affirmation. Because this is all about healing, self-healing, talking, being honest, saying things that people are afraid to say or don't want to admit. Who wants to admit, like, I was a little crazy, so it's like
I was a little codependent. Like, that shit ain't cool.
Yeah, we're gonna be organic as fuck as possible because we can't just feel every,
No.
every part of being of us. We have to leave some intimacy for ourselves in our lives, but definitely trying to move the culture in a different way, and jog our minds just a little bit and help to excel.
Yeah, so we hope that these tools and this open discussion has been beneficial to whomever. It's definitely beneficial we always have conversations like this. It's just beneficial to have these conversations as opposed to having them conversations with that friend that you call up and she's just like, girl, fuck him. Go fuck this up. He got you fucked up. Hey.
We didn't get it.
Check your toxic friend. And if she can't tell you, hold on, let's time out, let's unpack this, or whatever it is to help you come to a center, then that is just not a friend that you need to be consulting during times of uncertainty and high anxiety or whatever it is that you might be facing and you could possibly do something stupid. Okay. So, all right, I'm done. Like,
if you don't want that, because of course sometimes when you get upset, when your friends are upset, it makes you upset. But also as a person that's growing, your responsibility, the friend on the other side, if you know a little bit more better, then because I've been there, upset when my friends are upset or they're upset when I'm upset, but it's our responsibility that know better that are on this journey to be like, hold on, wait a minute. Like your feelings are valid, but let's like, sis, work on you, sis. Like it is our responsibility to help direct that energy. So if you a friend in the situation and you have a friend coming to you, watch how you respond because you will respond with your energy. So be careful with your friends.
You do not need to be hyping that friend up. We do not need to be in our little yellow dresses walking down the street, busting shit, fucking shit up. Just no, it's a no. That I think that's our first form of intimacy too, holding with your friend, right? Your friend, your cousin, your sister, whoever, hold each other accountable and encouraged to do better. We don't always got to be making a scene from a movie or a video.
Level it up, and take a trip for yourself. Do something for you.
That part.
Because you want long-term effects. You don't want to, busting out windows. Okay, you felt good while you busting windows out. But if you go run and create a habit, or I'm using exercise because I use exercise a lot. But or if you go get massages, or if you do this, if you create a healthy habit for yourself in a time of turmoil, oh my goodness, what did you just do to yourself? You improve yourself on a lifetime level because that's a lifestyle change.
Yeah. When you know better, you do better. So implement. All right. It's a wrap.
Bye, you guys. We love you. Please let us know what you think and check us out.
Yes. Like, comment, and subscribe, as they say. Toodles.
like this.